Hiya.
Hello, how are you doing? Hang on.
I'm all right. Okay, so just introduce yourself.
Okay, so I am Gemima, and I am the singer and guitarist from Boom Boom Boom. Yeah, and we're a punk band, like a Riot Grrrl punk band. We've got three female members and one male member. So we're a 4-piece. I was about to say how long we've been going then, and I can't remember now. I think it's about 3 years. It could even be, no, it's not 4, surely. I'm going to say 3. 3.5, something like that.
Nice. And where are you based?
So we are based in Shropshire. I'm in Shrewsbury, but the others are all in Telford.
And is that how you know Kathleen Riot?
Yeah. Kathleen came along to one of our gigs. It was a gig with a band called The Rumours. I don't know if you've heard of those guys. Yeah. They're an American band. I can't remember for the life of me what part of America they're from now. But yeah, those guys came over to Albert Shed to play a gig, and we supported them. And Kathleen was there and really liked us. So it's kind of came to a lot of our gigs since and stuff, which is cool. So yeah, that's how we met Kathleen.
You supported Taylor Moore Swiftly recently. How did all that go? You were very busy at one point. You just really full on.
Yeah, we tend to do that really. We'll have like a big burst of gigs, and then we have a little bit of a break, do a bit of recording and kind of pictures and any other bits and bobs we need to do, and then kind of do another block kind of thing. But yeah, Taylor Moore Swiftly was fun. Yeah, that was a good laugh actually. That was at Dive Bar with the big stairs. Have you ever been to Dive Bar?
No, I haven't.
In Wolverhampton. So it's at the top. I don't know how many flights of stairs of it. I want to say there's about. It feels like you're climbing a mountain anyway. It's like you're just going up and up and up and up and up, and then the gig room's at the very, very, very top of the building. Yeah, but that was good fun. It's a cool bar in Wolves, that one, yeah.
You've got to get all your equipment up there as well. There's no lifts or anything.
No, there isn't.
Oh my God!
I know, so that is a little bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But yeah, it's a cool little place. To be honest, they do have quite a lot of equipment there, so you can borrow most bits and bobs unless you're precious about what you're using, obviously, which we're not really too bothered. As long as it makes noise, it's all good. Yeah, so we just took kind of our instruments and stuff, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh God, I just can't. I'm just trying to imagine lifting my amp and dragging it up that big flight of stairs, because I've never been to Wolverhampton. So no, I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't.
It's all right. It used to be a lot better, I'd say, Wolverhampton. There used to be a lot more places to play and a lot more going on. Now you've really only got, for original live music anyway, you've only really got the Dive Bar, and then you've got the Gifford, the Gifford's a very cool bar. And you've got KK Steel Mill as well, which is like a larger venue. But other than that, there's not really... Yeah, from when I was a lot younger and used to go out there, it used to be a really good night out, but I feel like it's not quite the same, but I feel like they're trying to build it back up again, so hopefully.
Yeah, you can sit at a lot of places like that. I don't know if it's been since COVID or what. Yeah.
I think that was a big thing for sure. For a lot of venues just couldn't survive afterwards. You know, a lot of people kind of got used to being in their house, didn't they? And kind of, you know, and not going out as much and not going to as many gigs. But you know, keep seeing venues closing and stuff, and it's such a shame, isn't it? But yeah, hopefully. But equally, I've seen recently there's that venue in Camden that's opening back up. What's it called? Is it Barfly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there is some people trying to get things back to how they were, I think, but it's just a bit of a struggle at the moment, I think, with money.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad you said Barfly as well, because do you know, I played there years ago, and I couldn't remember what it was called. It's the one where you've got like a gig room upstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah.
But it was closed for years, but apparently it's reopening, so that's cool.
Nice. Are you going to be playing there?
I mean, that would be nice. I mean, we've only ever come over to London once. We tend to play a lot of gigs in Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham. We've done Nottingham, places like that. but London is a bit of a trek for us, to be honest. We've got a few fans in London, but I wouldn't say we've got loads. So it's always a bit of a risk when you kind of are playing a gig for a promoter and they're like, oh, we need you to get this many people here, and we obviously can't always guarantee who's going to turn up. But yeah, we'll definitely. I mean, if we got asked to play, we probably would, because it's a very cool place. So
yeah, it'd be nice. Be nice to see you, because the last time you played London, the only time, I had an operation which you didn't need to know about, so I couldn't go.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I know. It was. Yeah, I remember this time last year. It was like I was recovering from it. It's, ugh. But anyway.
What's your band? I have to check you out.
Well, I was in a band called the Lost Cherries, and I played in the Pukes, and I've been playing with Marie and the Meltdowns. So we've got like an acoustic set, and we've got an electric set.
Nice.
So I've got a gig on the 21st of June, and that's acoustic. So
where's that? Where is that then? Is that?
That's London.
That is London. Oh, okay. So
my accent betrays me, because I've got this.
I was going to say, you don't know.
I've got this Yorkshire accent, and I've lived down south since I was a teenager, and I'm in my 40s now.
It's a great accent. It's one of my favourite accents. It's a lovely accent. It's definitely better than a Cockney accent.
I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. You'll have to send me some stuff over that you've done. I'd love to hear it.
So I don't know if you know any of the anarcho bands, but I was in Lost Cherries for 12 years and then left and then did the podcast, and yeah, so... Yeah.
Nice. Oh, wicked. That's cool.
It's good, isn't it? Just like get out there and be creative, and just... If you've got something to say, and...
Keep doing it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Keep it, you know, because although, like I said before, things aren't quite as easy as they used to be when I was a bit younger, for original bands. Well, that's putting it mildly, actually, isn't it? You know, you still just got to keep doing it, you know, and hope one day that things change, you know, with things like, you know, Spotify and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, just hope that, yeah, that the original musicians can get a little bit of a better platform, I guess, and better exposure, and people can get paid a bit more and all that stuff. And
yeah, it is. It's tough.
Really.
Were you in any bands before, Gemima?
Yeah, I've always been in bands. So I was in an original band when I was a lot younger called Screaming Stephen. That was like a punky type band as well.
I've heard of that name. It's not a name you forget, is it, Screaming Stephen?
Yes, that was way back in the day. That was when I would have been about 18. And yeah, that was a really cool band. So we did that for a while, and then after that I moved abroad, and did the cover band thing for a long time, just because it was good money and I got a good offer. So I went abroad and did that, and did lots of singing abroad, and lots of singing on house tracks and things like that, which isn't my normal kind of go-to, but if somebody wants some vocals on something, I'll give it a go. So yeah, I did that for a few years, and then moved to London and did jazz in London for a while. So I got in a jazz band, and then moved to Shrewsbury, where I am now, and I did the cover band thing. But I've always written songs, but I haven't had an original band since Screaming Stephen. And then now Boom Boom Woom. So I kind of just got to the point, I think, where I had all these songs, and I was like, what am I doing with all these? You know, let's get something together. So yeah.
You've probably been asked this question lots, but where does the name Boom Boom Woom come from?
So yeah, I have been asked it lots, and I wish I had a really cool answer for it. I feel like I need to think of something better when people ask me this, but I guess that wouldn't be honest. But it's just literally something that popped in my head. I was trying to think of a cool name for a sort of a Riot Grrrl band, and it just came to me. I haven't got anything exciting. No exciting backstory. I need to think of one, don't I? People always ask me, and I'm like, oh, this is a really boring answer. I just thought of it. Yeah, so that's it, really. And I've thought of the name before the band was put together. I thought of this really cool name, and I was like, that's a great name for a band. Let's make it happen, kind of thing. And then got in touch with my friend Remy, who's on drums, who's somebody. So I work my entire job is music related, so I teach and stuff and do workshops in the week for learning disabled adults, kids in care, stuff like that, all music based stuff. And I know Remy through that because she's also a teacher, music teacher as well. And yeah, just she's a fantastic drummer, looks really cool. So I was like, do you want to do this with me? And she was like, yeah. And then found the others. Yeah, like, so Liv, the bass player, I'm best friends with her older sister, went to college with her older sister, who's also a musician as well. And Liv actually hadn't been in a band before. This is her first band. And yeah, just always noticed that she was a great player, but just hadn't really done anything like that before. So I just asked her and thought, give her a shot. And she's absolutely fantastic and fitted in amazingly well. So I've known Liv, since I was really, really young. And then Alex on the guitar, I met at a jam night and just thought he was a very cool, androgynous looking dude that would fit in really well, because initially I wanted it to be an all-female band, but we just couldn't find the right person that would fit in. So came across Alex and thought, and initially he was like, I'll just be temporary and until you find somebody that's more fitting. And then he's just perfect for the band, and I really like the dynamic of having him in the band. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
It looks like I saw the BBC introducing as well, which was really good. That's really... How did that come about? How did...
I'm trying to think now. I think we might have just sent the tracks in, I think, and then they got back to us and played them, which was great. Yeah. I think we just sent stuff over to them. Had to obviously do our radio edits because some of our songs are a bit got a few naughty words in. So we had to get. So every song we do, we'll normally have to do a radio edit. There's a couple we haven't had to, but yeah, it's always nice to be played on the radio, and yeah, absolutely. The more exposure we can get, the better. So yeah.
So, you've got some really cool videos, and who does those for you? Do you do them yourselves? How do you put them together?
So any sort of bit of footage we've got is generally just live stuff. At the moment, we did work on like a proper music video a while back, but after much kind of deliberation, we decided it wasn't quite. I don't know, when you kind of we workshopped it so much that it kind of got to the point where we were like, let's just put it in the bin and start again. So that is in the pipeline, it's something we still want to do. But all of our other kind of video bits and bobs that we put online is all, so Liv, our bass player, her girlfriend, Chris, so them two have got a tattoo shop together in Madeley. Very, very talented ladies. And yeah, so she's just incredible with the camera. She does all our pictures and comes to all the gigs and does all the footage and stuff and editing of any bits and bobs like that. So yeah, we're really lucky to have. She's kind of almost like a fifth member of the band, really. She's always at the gigs and always taking our pictures and always takes the best photos. So yeah, so it's nice to have her around. But yeah, hopefully at some point we can get like a proper kind of video with a concept and stuff done, because that'd be really fun, I think.
Yeah. So your photographs are really good, and you just all look really good on stage as well.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I think you more or less said this. What does each band member bring to the band, and what's helped shape the sound of Boom Boom Boom?
So I think everyone in the band has got quite different taste in music, actually. So Remy, the drummer, is very into her pop punk sort of stuff, obsessed with Avril Lavigne, like very kind of like bubblegum type pop punky stuff, which isn't our sound at all, but it's nice to kind of have a bit of that influence, a little sprinkling of that almost in some of our stuff. And then we've got Alex, who is very into his like kind of 70s classic rock, which you can kind of hear, I think, in some of his solos and stuff like that. I think that does come across. Liv, really into like the Distillers and kind of the quite similar to me, like the Bikini Kill type, L7-y, sort of punky stuff. But yeah, I think it's a really nice combo because it's not kind of just punk, you know, it's kind of, we've got other influences and other sounds going on in there, which I think makes it a bit more interesting because I love all types of punk, but I think, you know, there's only so much you can kind of do with that kind of power chord, basic sort of shouty thing, you know. It's nice to have, you know, other sort of melodies and things going on, working through that sound that kind of make it ours, really, I guess, and make it a bit more interesting, hopefully, for the listeners. Yeah, so but it's really nice. We kind of like try and embrace everybody's different tastes and different things they're into, and put them all together and create this sound that's been Wim, I guess. But it's definitely because there's some grungy elements to it as well. It's a little bit of a few different things, really, I guess. Years ago, yes, I used to be in a jazz band. Yeah.
Would you say you've injected some of that in there somewhere, or is it no?
So. I mean, for me, it's kind of like I've probably done. Like I said, singing's always been my part of my career, and I just think doing as many different genres as you can throughout your musical career is the best thing, because then, you know, even if you're not consciously taking influence from all those things, I think it just makes you a better musician, you know, and yeah, just makes your knowledge better. And yeah, I mean, maybe there are influences with melodies that I haven't realised or something, you don't know, do you? But I wouldn't say the jazz was a direct kind of thing that's been put into being Wim. But I just think all of it's important, and I just like to try anything really musically.
Yeah.
So
can always try some scatting.
Yeah. I can do a little bit of that. Why not? I think people might cringe a bit, but you never know.
I remember them, because I went to music college. I remember them getting us to like some scatting and stuff because they were quite like jazz orientated. So
yeah,
I can't imagine me doing that, but you never know.
It's quite fun. You just kind of got to go for it, really. It's about sort of getting over the embarrassment, I suppose.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, because we sort of brought up around all this like pop sort of music and pop and rock, and then it's like, can you scat us something? And you'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
What would you say was the most underrated band out there at the moment?
Oh, what do you mean, like a new band? Or
yeah, well, maybe a band that's been going a while but doesn't get the press that they need or they should get.
God, this is a really hard question. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure, you know. Underrated band. Crikey. I can't think of anybody. That's awful, isn't it? Because all the bands I can think of that I like, I don't think I wouldn't say they're underrated. I'll maybe come back to that one. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now. Sorry.
Sorry, Gemima. I'm sorry, just, throwing something random at you.
I'm trying to think of any. I mean, obviously I've got lots of friends bands and stuff I could plug, but obviously, like there's not they're not kind of at that stage yet, they're just sort of playing local shows like we are, sort of thing. But there's a really good music scene in Shrewsbury. Actually, there's a lot of really great bands around here, that definitely deserve more exposure and stuff, and more reach, but it's just such a hard world out there at the moment. It's not just about music anymore, is it? It's about social media presence.
Oh, God, yeah, it is.
All that stuff as well. So it's you've kind of almost got to be a social media expert to be to be successful at music now. It's kind of, like certain promoters won't look at you unless you've got more than so many followers, which is kind of, not nothing to do with the music at all, is it? Mm. So yeah, I'd say there's a lot of local bands around here that are definitely could be boosted up a bit more, but it's so I'd say the Shrewsbury, Shropshire scene is pretty great, but yeah, right, it's hard for anyone to get past kind of that point, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, it's almost like, the whole, I know people buy followers as well, don't they? Buy followers and they get social media marketing experts in and stuff like that.
There's loads of that going on, paying for, you know, I kind of understand why people do it. It's not something we've done, but I can understand why people do it, you know, when they want it so bad and want to reach more people and do better gigs and stuff. And, you know, it's just there's just so much competition. And when you've got somebody who's really, really good at social media and has the time as well to be doing all the time and stuff, it's hard to compete with, you know.
Oh, definitely. Sure. It's like it's got to be a full-time job. I mean, I used to do a lot of it, but I feel like recently it's been a bit, you know.
Absolutely. No, I feel like that as well. I used to be a bit better at it, but I think we've kind of dropped off a little bit with it because it's just, social media is just not very nice at the moment, is it? You know what I mean? It's not a nice place to be. You know, when I scroll through, I quite often end up coming away from it pissed off and thinking, oh, why did I read all that, you know? And so I guess, you know, you've got to protect your mental health and all that, haven't you? So it's you know, and put that first. And also it's just having the time, you know, like I work a lot. I've got a little boy as well, and you know, and everyone else in the band's got full-time jobs, so it is hard. Definitely, it's easier probably for somebody younger, maybe that's in college and has a bit more time, perhaps. But yeah.
How old's your little boy?
He's 9.
Oh, I've got a 7. He's going to be 8, and I've got a 13-year-old. How do you find juggling it all, like being a mum and being in bands? And
I think it's just something I've always done. You know, I'm lucky that I've got lots of supportive people around me to help out and stuff. And also because of the nature of my job in the week, I have lots of time with him then and stuff, because I work for myself, so I can kind of pick and choose when I work. And he, you know, the house is full of instruments. He's learning guitar himself, which is cool, and it's just part of his life, really. Like he's always come to see me at gigs, and you know, it's I mean, it can be hard at times. There are times when you have to say no to stuff, you know, and prioritise your family, obviously. But yeah, generally, I'm quite lucky that I've got lots of support and lovely people around me that can help out and stuff. So yeah. What about you? How do you find it?
Same as you, actually. It was like, because I've always done it. Even before I had children, I was in bands and stuff. So it's sort of, I've adapted it to like fit everything, you know. It does have its moments where it's a little bit, but I've just made it work, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I think when it's always been part of your life, you know, like I think if it wasn't part of my life, then I wouldn't be me, and I wouldn't feel complete, you know, and then I wouldn't, it wouldn't probably be the best mom because I'd be unhappy, you know. So and I've always I need it, you know, it feeds me, kind of thing. So I think it makes me a better mom being able to do the things that I love, you know, because you know, you're not just a mom, are you? You're a person, and you've got to do your stuff that makes you shine, you know, and when your child can see you doing that, I think that's a really good example to set as well, you know. Obviously you need to have a balance, but you do, you know, the family thing as well, but yeah, I think it's a good example to set, you know, that you're doing stuff that makes you, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I've noticed as well, I'd get asked that question, but like how many men get asked that question, you know? There's so many men out there who have kids everywhere, and they don't seem to have that question asked. I hated asking it, but I thought, fuck it, I'll ask, because, you know, I just thought, I guess it'd be a similar thing, you know, we've always done it, we've made it work. But sometimes I've been asked the question sort of, you know, oh, how can you be in a band and have a child, sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know what I mean, don't you, when I say that?
You know what you mean, yeah. You do get a bit of judgment sometimes, you know, when you're a slightly different sort of parent, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, it works for us, and yeah, we make it work. And like I say, I don't think I would be a very happy person if I didn't do it, which would make me a crap mum. So
yeah, that's how I hear that, definitely. I've always done it, and well, what about your partner? Is your partner in a band as well?
Yeah, my partner's in a band, so he's in two bands. He's in a band called Drave. They're like a post-punk kind of gothy type band, very cool band. And he's also got a band called Gauche as well, which are like, how do I describe Gauche? Gauche are great. They're like very silly, very like a funny, a kind of like, lots of silly songs. They just released a song called Dog, and like, they've got lots of like, they're the kind of band that when they play, everyone in the audience is laughing and smiling, and I like that, because there's so many bands that take themselves so seriously and they don't, and I think that the world needs a bit more of that, so I like that. So yeah, very musical household.
I like the sound of that, actually. That even you just talking about it's made me smile. Just like we kind of need a bit of that, because I was talking to them, Gypsy Pistoleros. Have you played with them? Are you playing with them? Am I getting bands confused? I'm getting everyone confused. It's all a bit much, but they are like, they dress up as like mythical creatures and stuff on stage. It sounds a bit mad, but when you hear the music, it's really, they're like glam folk punk.
Oh, nice.
They just
it's. I think there needs to be more music like that. I love silly music. I think it's great. Yeah, I think the world needs a bit more of that. There's a lot of people that take themselves very seriously, and I think, have a bit of fun with it, make people laugh, make people smile. That's good.
I mean, like, I think for me, I'm just sort of, I feel like I'll get up there and I exercise demons as well.
Absolutely, it's very, very cathartic, isn't it? Being on stage, especially punk as a genre as well. It's, you can have fun with it and say what the hell you like, and that is definitely cathartic for us as a band, for sure. But yeah, we definitely aren't a band that take ourselves too seriously either. A lot of our songs have got quite sort of tongue-in-cheek lyrics and stuff. I saw a band that I like that are very much like that, a Panic Shack. I think that I saw them recently, and a lot of their songs have got that kind of silly sort of approach, and I think it's great. I love it.
Somebody else was talking about Panic Shack.
Maybe I could say them actually for my underrated band. Maybe go with them. Because I think they're on the up though. But I saw them at Loop Fest, which is a festival that's held here in Shrewsbury. Great festival. And they blew me away. They were the best band I've seen in ages. It was peeing it down with rain, but no one cared. It was just everyone was soaking wet and dancing around in the rain, and it was super. It was really good. So check them out. They got lots of songs like "I Don't Want to Hold Your Baby" and "Wet Fire" and stuff like that. Like real kind of just quite simple, fun punk songs. With that kind of like feminist sort of message hidden in there as well, but not in like too much of a sort of serious way.
Yeah, but it's really quite a clever way of doing it as well, isn't it? Like, singing and talking about like serious issues, but making it quite hilarious and funny, and something you can laugh at and go. You can laugh and you can think, hang on a moment,
Yeah, it's a nice approach, I think, because there are there's a lot of feminist bands that are kind of singing about all sorts of issues, and sometimes it does need to be serious, but I think other times you can take another approach and maybe, I don't know, not that it needs to be more palatable for people, but yeah, because I think punk should never be made palatable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like it's a nice thing to kind of a nice approach to it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to check them out. You're the second person as well who's mentioned Panic Shack to me, and I've seen the name about. But yeah, so
yeah, this is my favourite song called Jiu Jitsu. So
I'll be on that. I feel that this is just a slick operation, I know what I'm doing. I've organised, as you can tell.
You seem pretty organised to me.
Oh, you haven't been well recently, have you? You feeling better?
I'm okay now, yeah, thank you. I'd caught some kind of, I think it was something COVID-y, flu-y, and it wrote me off for like about a week and a half. I don't get ill very much, so I got all the mom guilt and all the, I had to just stay in bed, and all of my work requires me to hold space and talk loudly to like a classroom or to, you know, young people or whatever, and singing and all sorts of things. So it's such a hard job to do when you're not well. So I had to cancel a few things, and which I hate doing. So, but yeah, I'm on the mend now, so all good, thank you.
Next, I saw you cancelled the gig, and I was like, oh, she's all right.
Yeah, it's never. Yeah, but I was really gutted about that. That was Sourfest, yeah, because that looked like a really cool festival. We're meant to be on at the Civic there, and it's the only gig I've ever pulled out of actually for Boom Boom Boom. I've never had to pull out of any so far. It's the first one I've had to, because I mean, we did. I think we pulled out of. Well, we didn't pull out. We had one gig where we arrived. It was somewhere in Birmingham. Was it the Rainbow? I can't remember what venue it was. But Remy, which is the drummer, just suddenly came down with this horrific food poisoning thing.
Oh, word.
Growing up, and she couldn't stop. And we were about to go on in about 45 minutes, and she was like, "Just put a bucket by my kit, I'll be fine." No, that's not how we're going to do it. So we ended up doing it without drums, which was, and we slowed everything down, and actually it was all right. But other than that, we generally I've been quite lucky. But I just the type of vocal that I do for Boom 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 is very kind of, you know, quite screamy and waily and stuff. I just couldn't have pulled it off. I didn't have enough voice, so one of them.
When you did house tracks, didn't you? You said earlier. Is anything out there that we'd know or recognise? Anything that's?
I've got there's a couple of bits and bobs out there. There's there's a producer called Wreaking Havoc that I did a song with that got to #1 in the Blair charts. It was a cover of Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind. You know that tune, the house version of that. That did quite well. But yeah, there's just, when I moved abroad, I lived in Ibiza, so I did a few different bits and bobs for different producers and stuff like that over there, as well as playing in a rock band, like just a cover band that kind of went round the bars and stuff. But yeah, if anyone kind of wants anything like that, I'll give it a go, you know. All sorts of, like I said before, I think the more genres you do and the more stuff you do, like the better musician you become, and the more you learn, and you can take little nuggets of things.
Yeah.
And so it's all good fun. Anything music related, and I'm in.
Are you creative in any other ways as well? Do you do art or design or anything, like any jewellery making or?
I used to do a bit of jewellery making when I was younger, actually, but not anymore. I'm really into my fashion and stuff. I used to be a visual stylist, so I used to be that's like a window dresser, basically, a fancy way of saying that. So I used to kind of work in that field, like putting outfits together and things like that. And I used to have a vintage clothing store when I was a lot younger as well. So yeah, I'm very into my fashion and stuff. So maybe later in life I might do something like that, but I'm not a drawer, definitely not. I'm no good at that. I'm terrible at that. Our bass player, she's an incredible artist, like super good. So she does all our artwork and stuff. But no, that's probably, I would say I'm a creative, but I'm not pen to paper. I'm not great.
What about digitally, like, you know, like graphically?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I run a couple of social media accounts and stuff for a couple of people, just as a little side hustle. And yeah, create like band posters and bits like that sometimes. So I do that. But yeah, but generally all my work's sort of music focused. So I work at like a local arts centre called The Hive, and we do like projects with young people and stuff, and getting into the music industry and things like that. And I work with a charity called Arty Party, which is for learning disabled adults, and I do drama, dance and music with those guys as well. I run a choir, so there's lots of bits and bobs going on that kind of make one job, basically.
That sounds really awesome. I like that. Like doing like the arts and the crafts with like with like additional needs and disabilities and stuff. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I think I love working with those types of people because it's kind of, there's no barriers. It's kind of like that kind of element of embarrassment and kind of stuff is kind of taken away quite a lot of the time. Not always, obviously, but I can just go to work and just be ridiculously silly and obviously professional as well. But I throw whatever ideas at people and I just go with it, and there's no inhibitions. It's kind of, let's just do this. Why not? So I love that. I love working with, and I just find people's minds really interesting, and different ways people's minds work and stuff, and especially when it comes to creating music. So really very lucky to do what I do, for sure.
It's good to be a creative, because
Definitely. I remember trying an office job when I was about 19, and I think I stuck it for about 3 weeks, and then on my lunch break one day just didn't go back. Like, this isn't me. What I'm doing.
I don't know, I did some office work once. I was on reception as well, and it was at my local council, and I just fucking hated it. It brought out a side in me that I do not want to see again. No. I was not the welcoming face of the council, and I tried as well, but I thought I really hate this.
No, you can't. Like, if you're a creative person, that's what you're put on the planet to do, and you shouldn't be trying to suppress that and doing things like that. No, obviously there's plenty of people in the world that really thrive in that environment, and that's great. So we need people like that to keep things going. But it wasn't for me, definitely not. I just went on my lunch break one day and was like, oh, I'm just going to keep walking. Keep walking. Don't go back. Yeah, but there we go. Gave it a try.
Yeah, at least, and that's, in some ways, that's quite creative as well, isn't it? Like trying something different and bringing that experience into your, into your life, into your world, and that doesn't work for you, and it just reinforces the fact you are a creative person and you do need this. It's not just about the work, is it? That's really important to bring the money in because you've got bills to pay, but that nourishment, that inner nourishment you need as well. If that makes sense.
Definitely. I think sometimes you have to do the things you don't want to do to know the things you do want to do. And it all helps, doesn't it? Like you said, to reinforce that feeling of like, this is what I'm put on the planet for, for sure.
I did read on Facebook that you're engaged.
Yes, I am indeed.
Has it been a long engagement? Are you getting married or soon, or is it just one of those?
Getting married in September.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We've been engaged. So it's not been a long one. It's been about, we got engaged not the May just gone, the May before. May last year we got engaged in Naples, which was lovely. So I never thought I'd be the marrying kind, but we're doing it very kind of very chill. I'm not kind of doing any of the standard bride stuff really. We've got it's going to be mates in a field, some live music and a barbecue. It's going to be very, very chill and and cheap.
There could be really expensive weddings. I remember because I was married years ago, and it was so expensive, like getting venues and all that stuff, and nobody's got time for all that.
Yeah.
Some people have, I'm just not my.
I think I'm not a naturally like super girly person, so I like all the kind of typical bridey stuff that a lot of brides would be doing. I'm not kind of I haven't even thought about, so I'll just turn up in my Dr. Martens and crack on,
Nice. I think for my first wedding I wore black.
Nice.
I thought I can't be doing all that. I'll just wear a black dress, be fine.
Yeah, that sounds very.
Let's say, which Riot Grrrl bands have had the biggest impact on you?
I think probably the obvious ones really, like Bikini Kill, Bratmobile, Babes in Toyland, all those sort of bands really. Anything that Kathleen has done. Massive Latigra fan. Definitely just love her vocal style. Who else? I'm trying to think who else now. It's hard to think, isn't it? When you, I love like bands like Amel and the Sniffers, if we're talking about newer bands and stuff. Yeah, and then I love like my kind of more grungy stuff like Hole and like the Muffs and bands like that as well. Definitely have a bit of an influence. And then yeah, like I love like old 70s female bands as well. Like I love like Fanny and Heart and other bands, you know, as well. Just yeah, anything like that is up my street for sure.
I only came across Fanny recently. There was a documentary about them, and I was like, "How have I not heard of them? How have I heard of them sooner?" It's awesome.
You know what? There's so many really cool 70s female bands that just got kind of forgotten about because the men were just so much at the forefront at that time, you know, and so many cool bands, you know, that I've sort of, when you really delve deep, there's loads of them, but they just didn't get the kind of same exposure, I guess, as the male bands did, you know, back then in the 70s. But yeah, Fanny's a great band. It's a very cool band.
Definitely. I'm going to do even more diving, you know, now you've said that, into the like 70s, because I like that era as well, of like female vocalists and like really fighting against it. I don't know if you've heard of a band called Haig of the Womb.
Who?
Haig of the Womb.
I don't think I have, no. I'll have to check them out.
They're like all the anarcho punk sort of
nice
bands. They used to play, I mean, they were like late 70s, no, I think they were early 80s. Well, they're going to kill me for that. They used to get bottles of piss thrown at them for being women on stage.
Mad, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. No, there's so many cool artists that just didn't kind of get the exposure that they should have had, you know, like, you know, even bands like Heart, because I'm a huge Heart fan. You know, they're obviously a really big band, but, you know, like, because I think they're just as good as Led Zeppelin, you know what I mean? If not better, but shouldn't really say that, but some people will hate me for that. But you know, but they didn't get anywhere near the same sort of, you know, praise and stuff and appreciation in my opinion anyway, that they should have done.
No, do you know, I do agree with you there, and I think the vocals as well in Heart are just amazing. Singing's amazing.
Yeah, incredible bands. Yeah, I love all that stuff. Absolutely. No, lots of like influence from loads of like little nuggets from loads of different things, really, throughout my life. Because was lucky growing up, because my mum was always very into like alternative music and rock and stuff, and so I kind of got exposed to stuff like that quite early on, which was good. So lots of like 70s rock in my house growing up, and that kind of is what sort of started everything, really, I guess. And then went on my own path after that. Yeah.
Did you have quite a young mum?
No, well, she had me when she was 30, so quite a sort of, she's 69 now, so yeah, quite a sort of standard age, I guess, to have, if you whatever that is, but yeah, she's very young at heart, yeah. And always goes to see bands all the time and stuff. She still will go out every Saturday night and go see whatever bands are on in the local area and stuff, and yeah, so she's very into her music. She doesn't play or anything, but she's definitely a gig goer and stuff. So
it sounds like she had like an impact on you, an influence in that way, you know, being surrounded by a lot of music. And because I was as well, like, had a lot of music and stuff like yourself, like 70s rock and things like that. But my instruments, my parents can't speak. My parents don't play instruments, and I ended up picking up a guitar. And
no, same for me. I didn't have that kind of direct influence like with instruments, but yeah, it was when I was about 15. I remember there was a girl in school who was kind of like the grebo of the school. That was the word that I used to use then. Like, for anyone that was alternative, you were a grebo. I remember being sat with her once, and she showed me how to play a chord, and I really liked the vibe of playing the guitar. And then I asked my mum for some lessons, and she said yes, luckily, and then went from there, really. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, I've always sang though since I was teeny tiny. I've always been singing, always in the shows at school and all that sort of stuff.
You do all the hymns and things, and
just like musicals and stuff. I was very into musicals when I was younger. That's kind of, I guess, was my first kind of like thing. Like Kathleen Hanna was the same, wasn't she? She was a musical girl before she did any of the band stuff. She was in Annie, wasn't she? That was her first kind of like sort of time she says that she sang and thought, oh crap, I can sing, you know. And it was the same for me, really. Yeah, just doing shows at school, and then kind of realising that I could sing. I had quite a strong voice, and I could, you know, and how much I just enjoyed it, singing of any kind, really. But yeah, I don't do the musical thing so much now. But you never know. When I'm older, maybe I'll do a bit of Amdram when I'm retired. Who knows?
you never know, do you? I just like, you'll be the same. Like life's just taking me down all these different twists and turns, and some of them I wouldn't have imagined.
That's it. It's nice I'm just open to anything. I think you've got to be like, you know, as an artist, just give things a go, you know.
And if you don't like it, you can just get up and walk away, like the admin job. Don't go back after lunch. You'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll live without me. Which album? Is there an album out there you wish you'd have written?
Oh God, loads, loads and loads. I'd say, yeah, just anything by any of the bands I've mentioned, really. Like Dreamboat Annie is an amazing album by Heart. Like that's incredible. There's tons of albums. Yeah, and just anything Kathleen Hanna's done, anything Hole have done, anything L7 have done, like all those albums, really. Yeah. That would be amazing if I could go and have a time machine and pretend I'd written all those amazing. Oh,
yeah,
I would.
Especially live through this. I wish I'd have written that time machine, but yeah, it is what it is. It's quite personal to. You say it was. I don't know. Some of the songs are quite personal to her, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be a random one, right? If Boom Boom Woom were a biscuit, what type of biscuit would you be?
I'm going to say pink wafer.
Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe that's more of a me thing, but I'm going to say a pink wafer. Like, I feel like it's a fun biscuit. It doesn't fill you up too much. You can always eat it anytime. I don't know, that's I just love a pink wafer. I think that's the first thing that came into my mind. So I feel like the pink wafer's a good biscuit.
I've not had a pink wafer in a long time.
Get yourself a pack. A cheap bell.
I wonder how many people listen to this and go, I'll have to get some pink wafers now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've given a very good answer there, have I? They don't fill you up very much.
I think it's a good answer.
But yeah, the pink wafer. I feel like it's a fun biscuit.
Cool. Do you know it's got me thinking about biscuits now? What sort of biscuit I'd like? But anyway.
All good.
Have you got any like strange like tour stories or gig stories? Anything maybe random's happened or?
Ooh, let me think. God, there's got to be that at the top of my head, it's hard to think, isn't it? I mean, yeah, we've done lots of sort of strange gigs, you know, because I think when you first start and you kind of say yes to everything, don't you? Then you kind of learn to sort of whittle away the ones that maybe aren't worth your time. So, you know, there's definitely been ones we've turned up where there's, you know, it's been like a bit of a working men's clubbies type situation or something like that, and you're like, what are we doing here? And you know, and we had one where the power went out. We had a gig where the power went out on our first song. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, generally on the whole, you know, all of our gigs have been lovely, and we always just have a good time together. We all get on really, really well as a band, which is the most important thing for me, really. We all support each other and love each other lots. So I can't think of anything right now, but if I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Okay. So I don't know. I've got visions of like haunted venues and shit like that. But I don't a fight kicked out at the gig, or
we haven't had any fights. No, we haven't had any fights at any gigs or anything. We're like, apart from the power going out at that one, and that's the only kind of slight disaster we've sort of had, really. Yeah, no fights as yet.
I don't know why I even mentioned that. Oh my word! I'm going back to the 80s now. It's all that talk of bottles of piss being thrown on stage. I've got my brain just gone back then. In fact, you know what? I can't recall the last time I went to a gig and there was a fight. Probably back in the 90s when like there was punk squat gigs. But I can't think of anywhere, you know, anyone's really kicked off or security's got involved or, you know,
I can't think of it. I've not been at a gig where anything like that's happened, really. Generally, you know, the people that are into, you know, alternative music, you know, it's a bit of a community and everyone's, you know, supportive of each other and everyone's there for the music. And, you know, there is that feeling of community in the audience, you know, that everyone's kind of a little bit of a misfit and an alternative person and everyone just kind of gets along, really, which is lovely, which is why it's nice experience, you know, gigging with Boom and Boom.
Yeah, I think as well, like, if you're alternative and you've had a lot of grief, you don't want to go out and get grief, do you? You don't want to go out and gig and... No. I think the last fight I saw, there was a guy who'd upset somebody's sister who was being really creepy with her, and her brother came along and was like, you know, leave my sister alone. I think that's as far as it's gone. But I don't recall anything in recent times.
Our bass player be told to smile a couple of times, which we haven't responded to well.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah,
my middle finger is my smile. Sorry.
You know, like, smile, love, and all that, and she's just like...
Yeah, my middle finger's my smile, yes.
Yeah. You know, when you're a bass player, you got to be moody and cool. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, we've always, luckily, our audiences are always lovely, and, you know, we end up making friends with people, and it's, you know, we always make an effort to meet people and chat to people afterwards, and generally everyone's really nice, so that's good.
When you're living on the fringes of society, you're not really, you know, you stand out a bit or you're a little bit different. It's nice to meet others like yourself, like-minded people.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
It's like you're coming home. And this is why we need venues. This is why we need, like, gigs and venues and more bands and, yeah.
We do, that's it, isn't it? And, you know, people buying tickets and stuff, and yeah, it is hard, but we'll keep doing it. Keep trying.
How do you feel about the ticket thing? You know, because before it was always like on the door, but now it's like if you don't sell enough tickets beforehand, they pull the gig. But it doesn't always work like that, especially when you've got like childcare and stuff like that. You don't always things can change in advance. If you're in a band as well, I tend to prioritise that and then get tickets last minute or want to pay on the door. I mean, how are you?
It's, you know, we kind of tend to say no, really, if there's a situation where it's like, we'll pull it if this is the case, kind of thing. Because a lot of our friends don't have loads of money and stuff, and you know, and sometimes they might have to wait till they get paid just before the gig's on and pay on the door, and you know, they can't afford to get the ticket in advance or whatever. And so we try and sort of stay away from gigs where there's the kind of threat of that, really, if we can.
Have you got any new recordings? Any new recordings coming out?
Well, we are recording on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we haven't released anything for ages. We had a bit of we did a bunch of gigs, like you said, and we kind of did, that was our focus for a bit, I guess, really. Just playing for a while, and also just sort of finding the right person to record you is tricky at times. But we were recording on Sunday, so we're going to be recording hopefully a couple of songs. So we've kind of got one to release and one in the bank, so yeah, something's going to be coming out really soon.
Oh, so, nice.
Off this space, as people say. A bit cringe in it, but you know, yeah, soon.
Is it EP or album, or are you just seeing what happens?
We'll be releasing a single and releasing a single and then another one. Yeah, basically we kind of tend to do it like that, really, just sort of release one song at a time at the moment. No. So yeah.
Do you think that's the best way to do it? Because at one point it seemed to be like EPs were out there, but releasing as a single,
it's hard to know, really, isn't it, what the best way of doing it is. I mean, obviously there's kind of that pattern you can follow with things like Spotify, where you're releasing every sort of 6 weeks or whatever to stay on to keep your listeners up. But it's exhausting doing that, you know, and it's not like you don't get much for it other than your listeners being up, you know, your numbers being up. You know, it's not like you're getting paid. So, you know, I think it's just whatever works for you, really. There's no point breaking your back, you know, trying to get things out always by a certain time schedule and stuff. I mean, obviously, if you want to do that and you've got the time to do that, then great. But, you know, life, doesn't it? And we just, you know, it has to be comfortable and, you know, like a good time for us to do things for everybody in the band and stuff. We've all got other commitments and we've all got lives. So we just kind of do stuff when we feel like it, which I guess is quite punk. I don't know.
Have you got any last words? Anything else you want to say? Anything you want to throw in there?
I guess really just look out for us, because we're going to be releasing a song really, really soon. I'd say we're recording on Sunday, so obviously not sure exactly how long it's going to take to mix and master and sort of get all the artwork and everything done, but hopefully within a month or so, I'd say there's going to be a new single coming out, so just keep an eye out for us, and obviously when we do release it, share it far and wide and keep supporting us. Yeah.
Nice. You can have a physical release as well, or is it just going to be digital?
I mean, I think at the moment just digital, but there has been talk of physical. It's quite hard to shift them, you know, but it's not something we've done before, but we have talked about it, so potentially.
Do you get asked for physical stuff?
We get asked for merch quite a lot, so so like t-shirts and stuff, so we're doing another run of t-shirts and things like that, because we sell out of those really quickly, which is great. I think people, like I said, we're lucky enough to have a fantastic artist in the group who does our artwork and stuff. So yeah, so I think people like how our merch looks, which is really nice. So yeah, we'll be getting a load done soon. I think when we release the next single, we'll kind of get all that type of stuff out as well. So yeah, so look out for anyone that's been waiting for a t-shirt, because we've been out of stock for a while. It'll be coming soon.
Where'd you get your t-shirts printed, if you don't mind me asking?
And up until now, Liv's done them, who's the bass player. She's got a t-shirt press.
Oh, nice.
Got a chap I've been because it's a bit time consuming. It's a very old school way of doing it, the way she's been doing it, and we just can't get the quantity that we need. So we've got a chap we're talking to at the moment that's gonna help us out. So yeah, so we'll be getting some stuff out really soon.
Nice. Oh, do you know, it's been really nice talking to you.
It's been nice talking to you too. It's been lovely.
And thank you for your time, and I'll see you later.
Oh, see you later. We'll enjoy the rest of the day. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Bye. That was Gemima from Boom Boom Womb. Thank you for listening. We're a Punk Rock Creators podcast. Bye.